Hello students, today we are going to learn history lesson number 6, towns, traders and craftsmen. Many small towns grew out of villages. They had markets where people came to sell their goods. The market was called mandi. There were also shops laid in streets. These were called huts. Food grains, sugar, jaggery, oil, butter and cloth were bought and sold here. Artisans like metalsmiths, potters, and masons occupied different trades. There were local traders, while some came from distant places to trade. The traders and artisans were taxed by the local zamindars or the local temple. Some taxes were collected in cash while others were paid in kind. So there are some types of the towns: administrative or capital towns, commercial and port towns, religious or temple towns, and the founded towns. First is administrative or capital towns. Some towns developed because the rulers and their families lived there. The ministers, nobles, soldiers, and administrative heads of the kingdom, merchants, craftsmen, also lived in these towns. Thus, these towns had many palaces, marketplaces, and good roads. Many of these towns were protected by high walls. Some of the important capital towns were Agra, Lahore, and Delhi. These towns had many cultural and educational activities, good civic amenities, and were developed because they were the seat of power. Next is commercial and port towns. During the medieval period, trade with the foreign countries flourished and many new towns came up to encourage trade. Trade and commerce promoted the development of urban centers. Agra, Patna, Prayagraj, Jammu, Ajmer, Khandesh, Coromandel, and Kanyakumari were great centers of commercial activities. Coastal towns developed into booming industrial centers with large populations. Medieval India's Arab traveler Ibn Battuta found great cities with rich markets in the north and south. Some of the important ones were Surat, Cochin, Arikamedu, Masulipatanam, and Vishakhapattanam. Next is religious or pilgrimage towns. The temples were very important because they were not only the centers of worship, they served as a sacred meeting place for the society. Protected by kings and widely supported by endowments and other gifts, temples enjoyed dominance as centers of religious life. They gave employment to many people who supplied oil for the temple lamps, potters, dancers, musicians, cooks, priests, accountants, metal workers, merchants which supplying the items like kafoor, aromatic wood for the rituals. Festivals, fairs, and religious discourses were held here. People from distant lands came as pilgrims to temples. These temple towns developed rapidly. Some of them were Tirupati, Madurai, Pushkar, Somnath, Tanjore, Kanchipuram, Vrindavan, and many others. Towns like Haridwar, Banaras, and Prayagraj developed because they were on the banks of holy rivers. Next is towns and traders, which is types of the traders. India had flourishing trade both inland and overseas. Trading classes were well organized and highly professional. Foreign trade was in the hands of both local and foreign merchants. Different communities were known to dominate trade in various parts of the country. The Banjaras were a special class of traders and specialized in carrying bulk goods like food, grains, pulses, ghee, salt, etc. They traded in caravans and were continuously on the move carrying goods from one place to another. The coastal trade and trade between the coastal ports and North India was in the hands of Marwaris, Gujaratis, Baniyas, and Chettis of peninsular India. The Muslim Bohra merchants also participated in the trade. The overland trade with West Asia was in the hands of Multanis of Punjab and Khurasanis. Many of these merchants had settled down in Delhi. Arab traders shipped Indian goods to European countries through the Red Sea and the Mediterranean ports. They brought silver and gold from their countries and took back shiploads of handicraft objects from India to the Far East. Items of trade. During the early medieval period, India became a hub for foreign trade. Indian exports consisted mainly of manufactured articles, with cotton cloth being the most important item due to its great demand. Indigo, saltpeter, spices, sugar, yarn, salt, beads, borax, sealing wax, and drugs of various kinds were also exported. Silks, gold embroidered, designed clay pots and pans, guns, knives, oils, sandalwood, diamonds, and other precious gems were the other prime articles of export. The principal important were horses and luxury goods like raw silk, glassware, coral, amber, precious stones, superior textiles, perfumes, and European wines. Craftsmanship. During the medieval period, the craftsmen flourished and handicrafts reached the pinnacle of perfection. Crafts like carpet making and textile weaving were developed into fine arts. The contribution of the Cholas and the Vijayanagar Empire in the field of bronze sculpture, silk weaving, and jewelry making is unmatched. During the Sultanate period, Bengal and the towns in Gujarat were famous for their fine quality textiles. Sonargaon in Bengal was famous for raw silk. Other handicrafts included leather work, metal work, carpet weaving, pottery, jewelry, etc. The most impressive achievements of the Mughal Empire was in the field of manufactured goods. They invited skilled craftsmen from all over the world. Brocade and velvet manufacturing developed rapidly. The emergence of new towns after the European influence. Indian goods had been popular in the Western countries since centuries. European traders traded with India and reaped huge profits. The most sought after items of trade were Indian spices and textiles. The Europeans formed companies to expand trade with the East. On account of their superior naval skills, these companies controlled the overseas trade to the West. Indian merchants were no competition for them. The English East India Company strongly established a foothold in India. From a trading company, it later became a political power. The increased demand for Indian textiles led to further development of the textile industry. However, the craft persons now took advance orders and had to weave the designs given to them by the agents of the East India Company. They no longer had the freedom to design their own products. Later, the East India Company established factories at Bombay, Madras, and Calcutta. The artisans were moved to these cities. The cities were divided into black towns and white towns. The workers had to live in the former while the Europeans lived in the latter. Thank you.